If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is February the 3rd, 2022, and today the topic is Vanity of Vanities. I hope that you all had a wonderful day yesterday. Mine was just fine. I ended up going to my Uncle Paul's memorial service. I'm not gonna lie, I almost didn't go. I was like a smidge away from not going. For a lot of reasons. I mean, I was kind of tired, and the idea of driving back down there and all that different stuff was about to get to me. But I guess there was a few things that convicted me to go ahead and go. One was that meeting. So look at God, already doing things with that meeting. One was the meeting that we had, and I just was like, getting up that next day, talking about turning a new leaf. It just wouldn't be right to not go after all of that. So I went on ahead and made my way, and I'm glad I did. I mean, again, it was good to see family and friends. It was good to, fellowship again. I saw the sisterhood connect a little bit more. I saw my sister and my oldest sister, so my younger sister and my oldest sister sat next to each other at the funeral. I came in later than them, so by the time I came in, I had to sit like a few rows behind them. And that was just good to see, though. It was good to see them sit together, and we all rode together to the gravesite. And it just was, people are making strides, you know what I'm saying? People are trying to build these bonds and whatnot. So, I mean, God is doing something, and, so thank and praise God for that. Now, this is random. I might as well throw some little randomness in here, y'all. So, I mean, how after funerals and whatnot, they tend to eat or whatnot. Food was good, y'all. Food was good. Have y'all ever had mac and cheese with pepper jack cheese in it? Because I think I had some yesterday, and I wasn't mad at it. I was like, I might have to tell hubby about this here, because I don't know if he's had it before, but I was like, it's an interesting flavor, but it's pretty good. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was spicy or anything. It just was that flavor of pepper jack. And I was like, and the mac and cheese. Interesting. Anyway, that don't have nothing to do with nothing, but I mean, just throwing that in there. Man. Speaking of food, I mean, I was telling my sister, I was like, man, there's just something about certain foods here in Jackson where it's like I haven't tasted it like that elsewhere, and I'd be like, man, I want it like that, And I was like, I gotta find out what these people are doing with their recipes or whatever, But yeah, so anywho, this chat today, Vanity of Vanities. So I was doing my prayer meditation this morning, and at some point during the prayer meditation, as I was listening to the Soul Space app, this vision, I guess you would say, came to my mind, or this thought, whatever. I saw, it was like I saw what maybe like a large man, which may, in my mind, I kind of saw it maybe as being like a godlike figure, right? Kind of in a, not say stoic position, but kind of While a small man compared to the godlike figure that I just showed you about, trying to tackle it, but then as the small man tried to tackle the large man, it's like the small man ran through the large man or something like that. Like it just was like the attempts to tackle was just like, I guess almost like trying to tackle a ghost. That's the best way I can explain it. So I was like, tackle. So I started to look up, definitions and whatnot around tackle, and that ultimately, the more I looked into it and went deeper with this idea of, tackle, with this scenario in my mind, it led me to the word vanity. And when I looked up the definition of vanity, the second definition, so I didn't even write down the first definition because it didn't help me understand. The second definition of it helped me get to the verses that I read over today. And the second definition says the quality of being worthless or futile. Or futile. So that's what led me to looking up Bible verses centered around vanity. And here we are. Here we are, y'all. Vanity of Vanities. Good morning. Hello to the person that's watching me live. So Ecclesiastes 1 and 2 says, Vanity of Vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of Vanities. All is vanity. Now, I mean, again, like when that thought came to my mind, and it was this figure trying to tackle another figure, but they were running through the figure. It seemed like a vain effort, you know. And in my mind, I'm not gonna lie, in my mind, I kind of imagined that perhaps represented, like, again, a godlike figure, and probably Satan, or evil or whatever, devil, or however you want to say it. That type of figure trying to tackle God, and so again, a vain effort, right? So that's what I was kind of reflecting on this morning as I thought of that scenario. Before I got to vanity, I was thinking about that scenario, and I was thinking, like, okay, well, perhaps I can't remember the different phrases that I was looking up. Yeah, I can't remember, so my apologies. But basically, yeah, I was thinking about that. But these verses here, even that verse that I just shared, it says, all is vanity. It made me think about us, right? It made me think about all the things that we pursue in life. And actually, right before I went live, it made me think about this phrase that I can't remember. It must have been during the cultivation period. Name drops. I can't remember when this came to me. It must have been during that time, but somehow, it came to me throughout my life that nothing else matters but what we do for God. Like nothing. And I think once I wrapped my mind around that, it helped me shift my mind in regards to goals and dreams and aspirations and things. Because at the end of the day, I mean, and again, I've seen that in my life as well. It's like, it didn't matter what I reached for. It didn't matter what I did. It's like I always was reaching for something else. Not content. Felt like I was missing something. Felt like I wasn't doing something. And it was like, well, I'm trying to do everything that I can, and I'm still feeling empty. I'm still feeling like something ain't right. Something is missing. And so, yeah, I think it was during the cultivation period, which, I wrote all about in my book. But regardless if it was then or whenever it was, that came to me at some point in my life that, man, nothing matters but what you do for God. And I, I mean, I guess it's like sometimes we go our whole life, striving for these earthly things that at the end of the day, the word is clear as well as life shows us that we can't take any of those things with us. And you know, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things to say. I mean, again, y'all know that I went to celebrate the life of Uncle Paul yesterday, and I'm sure he's leaving a legacy for his that he left a legacy for his family and things like that. And I mean, yeah, okay, things you do can last, right? I mean, you know, your well, I guess in regards to your memory, but it doesn't matter. Like, did you do what God created you to do? Um, I mean, we can go deeper about that. We can think about that. Think about our own individual lives. Think about people that we know. Think about um people throughout history that we've heard of. All these different things. We can go deeper with this, but here are the verses that I came across this morning. So Ecclesiastes 5:10 says, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This also is vanity." Well, again, we see all the time. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. So, for those of y'all listening to the podcast, you probably just heard a notification, which is funny because anyway. But how about the notifications from PayPal? Like I see the PayPal symbol that just voted. As soon as I said that about money, a notification about PayPal came up. That's funny. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that, but anyway, thought that was funny. um, but regardless, I mean, again, we can see that in a lot of ways. I mean, we keep hearing about all these mysterious celebrity deaths. You know what I'm saying? We keep um, hearing about suicides and people that have all the money and all the fame and all the fortune and all the things, and then at the end of the day, feel as if they have nothing. Feel as if obviously that their life doesn't account for much because it's like they don't see the value of their life because some take their own life or whatnot. And um so I mean, hey, the verse is plain and clear in my opinion here. It says, he who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. So again, vain efforts, right? Vain efforts. I'm gonna keep going. Ecclesiastes 4:4. Then I saw that all toil and all skill is work come from a man's envy of his neighbor. This also is vanity and a striving after wind. That made me think about my vision, right? My thing is like, this vain effort of keep trying to knock somebody over or tackle this entity that is untackleable. Yeah, I just made a word, y'all. Untackleable. um, I mean, all the work and all the toil that is put into that effort is vanity, right? Um, Ecclesiastes 1:14, I have seen everything that is done under the sun. Behold, all is vanity and striving after wind. So, I don't know, y'all. This may be pulp today. This might be pulp to realize that every single little thing that we do um, doesn't matter much. It doesn't matter much. Like, yeah, building wealth and all these things sound great. You know what I mean? Hey, I got goals, dreams, aspirations, things that I that I've strived to do throughout life. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. I feel like, that's part of, I guess, life, a part of things that we perhaps are created to do. Um, but should any of those things go over God and His will for you in your life? I would say no. I would say no. Because again, all those verses this morning is showing us that, toil, all these different things is again like a vain effort. It's like that man is trying to tackle something untackleable. So I don't know what you want to do with that, y'all. For me, I would say that realizing that years ago, again, it renewed my mind, right? It helped me to focus more so on the things of God and the things that He wanted me to do versus, my own things. And again, I have the constant, I have the testimony at this point of, stepping out on faith with several things and seeing God move through those things. So, and seeing God take care of me and my family and everything in the midst of everything that's been going on, in a way that I know is unexplainable, in a way where I know that He's moving, because at the end of the day, I know that I'm not doing much. I'm doing a few things, I'm making a few choices and whatnot, but, nowhere near the effort that was put before in my life, right, about different things. So we can go deeper with this, y'all. Plenty of verses in the Go Deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But I have one more verse that I want to share because I felt like perhaps this should be our prayer today. Especially if you're just now coming to terms with this idea of, hey, if everything is vanity, everything outside of God, right, and His will for my life is vanity, then, obviously, again, we need to shift our minds in some areas. We need to shift our pursuits, right? Perhaps even allow God to lead us and guide us to the things that He created us to do, versus, again, constantly trying to go for vain efforts, right? So here's the verse. Y'all can let it marinate. It's Psalm 119:37. It says, "Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways." That's the juice, y'all. That is the juice. The Bible verse of today is Matthew 5:4. It says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
This has been brought to you in part by Anointed Touch Health, Fitness, and Beauty. Eat right and exercise daily. Walk with God. Run from the devil. 1 John 20:20. You have an anointing from the Holy One. Visit anointedtouch-hfb.com for more information.